Good morning. Thursday. I wasn't around yesterday. My back is really bad, and I can't sit in a chair. And I won't do videos on the phone. Don't trust it, especially down here. So anyhow, you all know about the signal scandal. Of course, it's a hoax, according to Trump. Everything's a hoax if it isn't what he said or did. He was just so ignorant of everything. I think he's got to be steaming inside. And I'd say Hedgeworth and some other people in that group are on very thin ice right now. You know how he gets when people start doing stuff that he doesn't like. Oh. So anyhow, I've been going around looking at what's going on. You know, they're trying to purge black people from the military service, and I don't understand that because you know they're going to have a problem because since the beginning of the Army, rich white people don't fight. They pay somebody to go fight for them. That's what they did in the Revolutionary and Civil Wars. I think it was done in World War II too. I'm not sure. I know people like you can see Trump got out of it. He paid his way to get out of it. You know, mowing spurs. I had a bad back. I still went for in the National Guard. Because if I got out on a medical, that followed me everywhere. Would make it impossible for me to be employed. They did. They caught it when I went to apply for UPS. And, you know, didn't get the job. That would have been, my life would have been so much different that I got that. I hope, I think, I don't know. If I had gotten that job. I have to wait and see what happens there. But anyhow, that's, you know, white people aren't going to fight. Not rich white people, anyhow. So our army's going to get decimated. You know, I don't know how many women are in the army right now, but he doesn't want them there. He wants them to be clerks, you know, typists, shit like that. Anyhow, so I was looking around and I read an article this morning on this guy. I don't know if I'm going to say his name right. Chakrabarti. He's going to go in a primary against Pelosi, which I agree with most. Pelosi has done a very good job over the years, but I think it's reached the time where she's not mentally quick enough to handle what's going on right now. She's not doing a bad job. She's not horrible. I just think the fact that she's been quiet for so long is a sign of, you know, she needs to go. And he makes a good case for that. You know, he sits there and he says, you know, I waited after the Trump election and everything, and he started saying all these things, and I kept waiting for the Democrats to do something, and they didn't do it. And he's the kind of person that I think, you know, if he's got anything against him, he's a billionaire. But he's a billionaire that cares, you know, or at least says he does. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. But I think that, you know, people like him and AOC, we need a change. You know, I like Bernie Sanders, but I think Bernie's too old to carry the fight. You know, I think he's just, you know, he's going to, you know, I don't think he can last that long, but I hope he can because he's a good man. You know, and along those lines of age and whatnot. You know, I'm 79, and you can tell my conversations wander from time to time, most of the time, and sometimes I lose track of what I'm saying or what have you. But I would like to spend the next whatever I got left, 4 or 5 years, whatever it is, relaxing, enjoying my life, watching my grandkids get older, starting to accomplish things in their lives. My oldest one especially, Hattie. Without worrying about anything, other than my health. And I can't do that. I keep reading articles. We don't get mail down here, so when I find out something Social Security's doing, I find it out online or something like that, or in an article from Rolling Stone or something like that. And that's not the way to do it. And they've made it even more difficult for me to get in contact with Social Security now. So I don't know what's happening there. I have to try and talk to them. That's a project for Monday. I don't know. I don't want to spend my life looking over my shoulder and stuff like that, but I'm not going to sit here and be quiet. I seen all this shit happen. I saw all the bad stuff that's been in this country, And that's where this Chakrabarti comes in, His idea is that we need to do, he's calling it transformational. We need to do something that like FDR did when he brought all these programs in and he brought the country together, and he made everybody's life better, Trump's not making everybody's lives better. Trump is only making millionaires and billionaires' lives better. The average working person now is in worse shape than he was when even Biden was president. And Biden wasn't the best of it, They called him Sleepy Joe. Well, the cartoons about Sleepy Joe are not, at least we could sleep when he was president. And there's a lot of truth to that. Donald Trump is not a politician, which is why a lot of people like him. But he's a con artist, which is why I hate him. Okay? I've seen what he's done to people over the years. I've seen how he's taken I don't know, what's the term? Poor people, I guess I'm going to say. I don't mean it that poor, but average people. And how he has a total disdain for them. You can see it in the way he walks, the way he talks. And you add to that the fact that he has an iota of honesty about him. He lies so much, I don't think he realizes he lies anymore. You can't trust a word that comes out of that man's mouth. And I know people that did business with him who will swear you can't trust a word that man says, or his signature on a piece of paper. He signs documents that he already knows he can get around. That's what I'm saying. It's like Putin, in the Ukraine thing. Zelensky is sitting there, and if Zelensky's got any intelligence at all, don't accept Putin at his word, because he's not going to keep it. That's the way politicians are nowadays. They say one thing and say, oh, fuck it, let's go do this instead. They won't care, because we know what's best for them. And that's the thing that's upset me the most about everything in the political world, is that these people come in and they think they know what's best for them, for us, It's like religion. You should live your life this way. You should believe in this religion, not this religion. We're the best. That's the same thing in politics. It's all bullshit. And I think that the world's people, not just the United States, I think the world's people are beginning to just get tired of it, I don't know, but the problem is when they get tired of it, they don't decide to do anything about it. They just get tired and they sit there and Trump, who was it they said that, when did they say it? Was it the first Trump's administration or somebody else's, where they said he would bring a lot of good people, he would bring the good people around. It couldn't have been Trump, because I wouldn't have I would have supported him had he said that, and I didn't. So he must have been somebody else. I can't remember who it was, but people were leery of this politician and running for president, and everybody said, well, he'll bring good people around him. He's smart. He'll get some good people around him. He has a lot of support there. And it didn't work so good for Trump in the first administration, and it looks like it's not working so good for him in this administration. He hires amateurs. He believes that if the people around him aren't experts, they won't be able to criticize him. They'll do exactly what he tells them or wants them to do, without causing a riff or what have you, and it's not working out again. They make mistakes that are critical. The Signal chat thing is probably a bigger sign of more trouble than what you're looking at right now. There's a big problem there, the incompetency that exists there. Kennedy's got something wrong with him. I don't know whether he's got throat cancer or something, and he's in charge of health services. His voice has gone bad on him. I don't know what that is. I don't have any dislike for the man, except I think he's stupid. You got Musk has to be high to do his job. I guess I should do some research on ketamine and find out exactly what it is. All I know is they use it on animals for like a sedative. I don't think a person in his position doesn't need a sedative. He needs help. But look, these are things that are just out there running around. I can't put my finger on who exactly is at fault with the Signal problem. I can't exactly put my finger on is it Musk the one that's doing all this, or is his right-hand man Davies doing all of this? I can't blame Trump for everything, because he's the one that wants these things done. The courts are arguing with him. Now he's going to start messing with voter identification rules and stuff like that to make the next election very, very difficult for people to vote in. We still have this thing to worry about on April 20th, where he supposedly is going to try and call up martial law, which I don't think he can do. But, I think every time you sit down and say, he can't do that, that asshole turns around and does it. And then he gets away with it, which is even worse. People say he's a convicted felon, and that was a big thing during the election. My philosophy, where he is concerned, is he's a traitor. He took documents from Mar-a-Lago to sell. There's no other reason in the world for him to have those documents. They don't supply him with any economic information on other countries or anything like that. It's just simply he wanted something to, sell when things got tough. And things are tough for him because he doesn't have cash. He's still selling names, coins, and all kinds of other garbage because he doesn't have any money. He has no cash. He's still got 3 mortgages on his hotel in New York. And when he gets out, and that's why he's going to think about a 3rd term, because if he gets out and he's still alive at the end of this term, and he's out of office, he's going to be hammered. He's going to be hammered. He's going to have lawyers lined up around the block trying to get their money from him. All right, listen, it's, I don't know what time it is up there. It's 11:19 in the morning down here. So what does that make it? 12 something up there? All right, so you're probably getting ready to go to lunch or whatever. Maybe this wasn't the best time to talk to you, but anyhow, listen, I'll see you tomorrow.